none like him. With him we are champions. With him we can. We always win. We are champions. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like him. With him we are champions. With him we can. We always win. We are champions. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we you're our champion. With you we can. We always win. You're our champion. Yahuwah is the awesome God. There is none like you. With you, you're our champion. You we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you, you're our champion. You we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you, you're our champion. With you we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you, you're our champion. With you we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you, you're our champion. With you we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you, you're our champion. With you we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you, you're our champion. With you we can, we always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you, you're our champion. With you we can, we always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. You we can, we always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. Yeshua is the awesome God, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Yeshua is the awesome God, and there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Yeshua is the awesome God, there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Yeshua is the awesome God, there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Yeshua is the awesome God, there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Yeshua is the awesome God, there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. Yeshua is the awesome God, there is none like you. With you we win, you're our champion. With you we can lose, we always win, you're our champion. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. We lift our hands, we lift our voice, we celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah, for the King who is victorious. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. You are the awesome God. There's none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can lose. We always win. You're our champion. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we sacrifices of praise. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. We bring sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of thanksgiving. And we offer up to you the sacrifices of praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessels. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome, welcome. desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into your chosen vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Clap like they clap. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Clap like they clap. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Clap like they clap. Oh yeah. Oh Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Oh yeah. Oh Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Sing like they sing. Oh yeah. Oh Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Dance like he dance. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Dance like he dance. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Dance like he dance. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Dance like he dance. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Ain't nobody there but the devil. Dance like he dance. Oh yeah. Oh Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody mad but the devil. 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 Dance like you dance, devil. Dance like you dance. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like you dance. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Dance like you dance. Oh yeah, oh yeah, we praise you. Oh Yahuwah, 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 we praise you. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Feel like it's great. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Feel like it's great. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Feel like it's great. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Feel like it's great. We praise you. Oh Yahuwah, 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 we praise you. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Clap like you clap. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Clap like you clap. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Clap like you clap. Oh yeah, oh Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Sing like everything. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Sing like everything. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Sing like everything. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Sing like everything. Oh Yahuwah, oh Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, we praise you. Oh, we praise you. Oh, we do. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. Oh, Yahuwah, ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Shout like they can shout. Oh, Yahuwah, we praise you. 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 Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. He's worthy, wonderful Savior, wonderful King. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. He's worthy of all praise, worthy of all esteem. He's worthy, he's worthy. He's worthy, he's worthy. Hallelujah. Come on, praise him. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. We do give praise to our King for yet another Sabbath day, Sabbath rest, that he has allowed us to be a participant of. We do celebrate and commemorate his rest as well as celebrate our rest. A time that we are to cease from all labor, that we may walk into his rest and that we may comply to his instructions and will for our lives. On today, as we begin, or on this Yom, we want to begin with the Baruch of the Torah. Repeat with me, Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
For all eternity.
For all eternity.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
And gave us his Torah.
And gave us his Torah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah,
Baruch atah,
Yahuwah,
Yahuwah,
our Supreme One,
our Supreme One,
King of the universe,
King of the
who
universe,
gave us the Torah of truth,
who gave us the Torah of truth,
and implanted eternal life within us.
and implanted eternal life within us.
Baruch atah,
Baruch atah,
Yahuwah,
Yahuwah,
giver of the Torah,
giver of the Torah,
and it is so.
and it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Now we will have the reading of the Ten Commandments done by Apostle Brown, coming from the book of Leviticus, chapter 5, verses 6 through 22. And it is so.
And it is so.
Aleph. I am Yahuwah your power, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim from the beds of slavery. Bed you shall have no other power before me. You shall not make you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in Shemayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the Mayim beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself unto them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the hours upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and show mercy unto thousands of them that harm me and keep my commandments. Gimel, you shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power and falsify it, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and empties it. Dalet, guard the Sabbath day to set it apart, as Yahuwah your power has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Hey, esteem your Ab and your Im as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power is about to give you. What? You shall not murder. Zain, neither shall you commit adultery. Het, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. Yud, neither shall you desire your neighbor's issue, neither shall you covet your neighbor's bed, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words Yahuwah spoke unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. And it is so.
And it is so. And it is so. We Baruch Yahuwah for his commandments, for his instructions for our lives. Now we're going to turn our attention to the book of Yahushua the son of Nun, chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. We're going to read verse 7 and we're going to confess verse 8. Verse 7 says, only be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the Torah, which Moshe my servant commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. Verse 8, as I have tailored it to fit a time of confession. Repeat with me. I will not let this scroll of the Torah.
I will not let the scroll of the Torah
depart out of my mouth.
depart out of my mouth.
But I shall meditate in it.
But I shall meditate in it
day and night.
day and night.
That I may observe to do.
That I may observe to do
According to all that is written in it.
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 For then I shall make my way prosperous.
But then I shall make my way prosperous.
And act wisely.
And act wisely.
And act wisely.
And act wisely.
Now look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, you shall act wisely.
And you shall act wisely.
Take your hand and place it over your heart and say, Abba Yahuwah,
I'll be Yahuwah.
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
Come on, Abba Yahuwah,
I'll be Yahuwah.
I shall act wisely.
I shall act wisely.
I endeavor
I endeavor
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
I endeavor
I endeavor
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
Come on, I endeavor
I endeavor
to act wisely.
to act wisely.
And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. We want Abba Yahuwah to feel what we're saying. He can feel. And we want him to feel what we're saying, because what we're saying, we mean it. We are determined to act wisely, regardless of what situation we find ourselves.
Yes.
Luke 18:1 says, men ought to always pray and not faint. As we turn our attention to the book of Leviticus, chapter 6, verses 1 through 18. Once again, I reiterate these every time as a platform so that we can understand. It is important and imperative that we rehearse this in our hearts daily. Not just every now and then, daily, because we are faced with challenges every day. So every day we need to be prepared. Just like when we go outside dressed, because we want to make sure we are doing what is upright and walking in moral standards. So when we go out dressed. When we go out, we want to make sure we're dressed with the Torah, with the instructions of Abba Yahuwah.
That's right.
So it's important that we constantly remind ourselves of these. Yes, there are plenty more, but these verses are very important, and these are the ones that he gave me to constantly remind us of our position and our stand, and even the position and stand of our ancestors and forefathers. For we dare not fall back into the entrapment that they fell into, and that was disobedience, and that was not complying to his instructions. So we don't want to do that. And this is what Abba Yahuwah says, and this is what Moshiach says. These are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you. He commanded this, that you might do them in the land where you're going to enter and possess it. You have to understand, we are going in to possess a land. And I believe that it's imperative that we learn how to live here while we're making preparations to go home to live.
That's right.
So we got to already live like we're already living at home. We have to live here like we're already living at home. Verse 2, that you might fear Yahuwah your power to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yisrael, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah power of your Abbas has promised you, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Verse 4, hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our supreme one, Yahuwah is Akkad. Shemath Yisrael, Yahuwah is our Savior, Yahuwah is Akkad. And you shall ahab Yahuwah your supreme one with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Talking about this heart. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your bed and on your gates. And it shall be, when Yahuwah your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore unto your Abbas, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great cities which you did not build, houses full of all great things which you filled not, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahuwah, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the bed of slavery. You shall fear Yahuwah your power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. For Yahuwah your power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of Yahuwah your power be kindled against you, and he destroy you from out the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuwah your power as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuwah your power, and his testimonies, and his statutes which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yahuwah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the great land which Yahuwah swore to your Abbas. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Very important. Mishlei 15:8. The sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination, hateful, and exceedingly offensive unto you, Abba Yahuwah. But the prayer of the upright, it is your delight. Romaiah 14:17-18. For the kingdom of Yahuwah is not meat and drink, but of uprightness and shalom, and joy in the Ruach HaKodesh. For in these things serve Yahusha. These things who serve Yahusha is acceptable to Yahuwah and approved of men. Mishlei 3:4. So shall you find esteem, great understanding, and high esteem in the sight or judgment of Yahuwah and man. And it is so.
And it is so.
Tehillim 1:1. Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the unrighteous, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the instructions of Abba Yahuwah, and he doth meditate upon it. And it is so.
And it is so.
It takes belief to be our obedient, diligent discipline. Tehillim 34:15. The eyes of Yahuwah are upon the upright, and his ears are open unto our cry. Verse 17. The righteous cry, and Yahuwah heareth, and delivereth us out of all our troubles. Acts 1:8. But we shall receive power after that, the Ruach HaKodesh come upon us, and we shall be witnesses unto him both in Jerusalem and all Judea and Shamara, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And it is so.
And it is so.
Ayah 33:4. The Ruach Kodesh of Yahuwah hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty hath given me life. Somebody say he's a life giver.
He's a life giver.
Say it again, he is a life giver.
He is a life giver.
Micah 4:8, but truly I am full of power by the Ruach Kodesh of Yahuwah and of judgment and of might, to declare unto Yaakov his transgression and to Yisrael his sin. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Let us have another song, please. You have something? Okay.
Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, oh, let it rise. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, 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 let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us, let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 oh. Let it rise. Oh, 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 oh. Let it rise. Oh, oh, oh. Let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the power of Yahuwah rise among us. Let the praises of our King rise among us. Let it rise. Oh, 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 oh. Let it rise. Oh, 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 oh. Let it rise. Oh, oh, oh. Let it rise. Oh, let it rise. Let it rise. Let it Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let it rise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We was once lost, but now we're found. We was once blind, but now we see. Hallelujah. That is the reason to give rise to our praise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. You're worthy, Abba Yahuwah. You're worthy, you're worthy. He's worthy. He could have left us sleep. He knows all things. He could have left us sleep. He didn't have to wake us up. Knowing what we would do and knowing the resistance we would put up and knowing the fight we would still put up, even walking in truth. Knowing that some of us would still lean to our own understanding and not really acknowledging him in all our ways so that he could direct our path. But yet he still woke us up knowing the result that will come. But see, he sees the end result. He sees the finished product. So I truly do ahab Yahuwah for, in spite of my shortcomings and in spite of my error, he still ahabs me because he knows we're still all learning.
Yes.
It's one thing to get to a point where you stop learning. It's another thing to learn. And we don't have to learn by trial and error. We can get it right if we just follow it. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Devarim chapter 11 verses 13 through 22. And it shall come to pass if you listen carefully to my commandments which I command you this day, to ahab Yahuwah your power and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your corn and your wine and your oil. And I will send grass in your fields for your cattle, that you may eat and be full. Fields is plural. Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived, and you turn aside and serve other power and worship them. And then Yahuwah's power or his wrath be ignited against you. And he shut up Shemaim, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, unless you perish quickly from off the good land or the great land which Yahuwah gives you. Therefore shall you lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes, to fall, to bind to the mind. Therefore I say unto you, lay up these my words in your heart, once again, and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall teach them your children, speaking of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your bed, and upon your gates, that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land which Yahuwah swore to your Abbas to give them, as the days of Shemaim upon the earth. And I don't know about you, but verse 21 is very important unto us, especially if we have children, whether they are adults or whether they are freshly born. And that your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children. That means whatever we do, it determines the life, the prosperity, and the productivity even of our children. So it's important that we understand, if we don't do, and we are not being a people that are walking in truth and in obedience, it affects even our children. And I don't know about you, but I want my days and I want the days of my children multiplied.
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Once again, that your days may be multiplied in the days of your children in the land which Yahuwah swore to your Abbas to give them, as the days of Shemaim upon the earth. For if you shall carefully keep all these commandments, not some of them, all of them, which I command you, to do them, to ahab Yahuwah your power, to walk in all his halakha, and to cling unto him. And we know verse 23 in one word sums it up: victory. We will have the victory, and that's what we strive for